Smart 24, driving business.
We'll be back from the short commercial break. It's the YBL, and we were still digesting the whole situation. For this segment of the show, we are going to delve into the problems that come with students coming out of campus, not variable enough for the ecosystem or for the employer's world. What are the problems, starting from the person investing to the owner of the business, to the consumers at the edge, and also the economy at large, with the government always wanting taxes? Yes. What problems do you think are coming out of us studying things that are not up to date? That means we are not well equipped with solving current problems. Not forgetting that the world is changing at every microsecond. Yes. Starting with Mr. Kamoga.
Yes. Thank you, Samali. To start with, we have bodies that are supposed to ensure that the knowledge we get from the institutions, wherever we may have gone, is actually relevant with the job demands as of now, or at the time, or in the future. Because one purpose and relevance of education is to prepare us as students who go through this system for the employment world, and also sustain ourselves, and also help in the development of the economy as a whole. Now, we have institutions like the National Youth Council. It's mandated. It's mandated by law to ensure that it helps the youth in social, economic, and educational development of the country. Okay. So why do we have a gap in what we are taught and the job demands in the market? Okay. And that's why we are saying that once we don't come back on ground and ensure that whatever knowledge is imparted in the students is not outdated, it's either up to date or it's preparing them for the future. Okay? I've told you that universities elsewhere are in a prospective mode. And you asked me that I don't know whether our viewers got what that meant. Is that we are not only preparing you for the current situation, but we are also preparing you for what is to come. Because as the current working generation is moving out, there are others who are replacing in. I personally am a lawyer, and I'm so passionate about tax law. Okay? But tax law has since evolved from, you are coming to your books at your station and, reviewing and, submitting what. We've gone to online systems, and we now have online transactions that need to be taxed. And from the reports you've seen, that URA is losing a lot of revenue from untaxed transactions. Okay? And what is causing all this is because those who are mandated to make sure that the education system, the government agencies, and what is actually transpiring are all in tandem with each other. They are moving in the same line. Okay? Once we have Income Tax Act, or we have whichever laws that govern taxation, I'm bringing tax as a yardstick and as a point of reference, okay? That we have those laws, but we are also having other developments elsewhere in the technology sector, in the petroleum sector. Things are moving away from where they have been being done to some other platforms. How do we then incorporate new mechanisms into our prospective and potential professionals to prepare them for this? Okay? You have commissioners who impose assessments, or who are supposed to monitor and oversee the whole system. But they have left everything scattered.
Why?
Okay?
Mr. Kamoga, before we go any further, I feel you have not answered my question. I feel like, or to test speed, for you, you're looking at the solutions, but I want the problems. What problems are being caused by us studying things that and not helping us?
The problems, yes. The problems emanate from what you're studying as a student.
Auntie, what are those
okay?
problems?
The problem is that you have a curriculum. Yeah, you have a curriculum that was implemented by your university. Chambogo. They came up with it and it became accredited. Okay? Chambogo is sitting on its mandate to make sure that your contract is actually going to give you whatever you sought from Chambogo. Okay? By applying that, we make a review and we ensure that what somebody is getting from us is actually up to date. They have sat on that mandate and they have not applied for whichever reviews and re-accreditation and whatever they're supposed to do.
What problems
okay?
are arising from them?
And that problem is going to, that one is going to make you summary, graduate from university without even knowing what is being done in your sector. Okay? We have, I told you lawyers are lucky that for them they will come out of university and they know the laws. Okay? Because from the class you won't cite an amended law or an outdated law. You won't cite a reviewed case or an appealed case. Okay? But someone who is studying petroleum mechanisms of the 1970s, now we are using different mechanisms. If it's an accounting course, or if it's an insurance course, or if it's logistics, you have now new modes. Insurance, risk management, a lot of things that have emerged. Yeah. But my friend here is not going to teach you that. Okay? They are going to teach you the back then insurance policies and logistics policies where people were using ships. And there were what? Carriages where they were using still using donkeys. Okay? Letter writing and everything. Okay? This is not applicable to today's economy. Okay?
No.
How does it affect the employer?
He said the lawyers are lucky. Those 2 moot sessions they have, are they really lucky? Those few moot times they have. I have friends who are doing law. They have finished the LDC, blah, blah, blah. Those 1, 2, 3 moot sessions they have at campus.
Yes.
Are they enough for them? Because you see, you guys are going to make them carry books when they come to your law firms.
Yes, yes.
This boy or girl has his whatever time he has spent at Macquarie and those years at LDC. See, they are going to still come and be TV presenters, yet they have law course. We had someone at our place who was having a law course, but still, TV.
Yes.
So the question is, why did Nabagala, who is doing environmental science, working on Smart 24 TV?
Yes. Before even you go there,
yes.
Right from your primaries and everything, when you're preparing for your career, there is what we call career orientation.
Yeah.
Okay? People are studying things because they have been either forced, and I listened. I was attending some session, and people are now doing things that are presented to them.
Yeah.
Okay? You're being is it journalism? You're being a journalist, but you're not a professional journalist.
Yeah.
Okay? You're doing this because it's what the job market has presented you with.
That's what is available.
That's what is available.
Yes.
Okay? But we should, or even parents, they shouldn't insist on, do this and this. We should go back. Before even going to the universities that, you're teaching me valid courses and everything. What am I studying as a student? Is it going to contribute to my professional career? Yeah. Okay? And then when I go to the university, then the university is supposed to prepare me to give me the knowledge, okay? That is going then to help me do what I desire to do and the knowledge I've acquired from the university.
Had something to say about lawyers before you even got there.
All right.
Okay.
Me, I have a feeling that lawyers are good at putting on suits.
And carrying big bag.
I've just said suits. But that was a joke. Please, my friends, I have very many friends who are lawyers. Don't hold it against me. But the segment is very interesting, and I'm going to request a little more few seconds to digest this matter. Whew. Do you know how many students graduate in this country?
I was in that
since
tent.
January. Every after like 2 months, I see
a university graduating.
Graduate. Yesterday, I woke up and people were
YMCA was graduating.
Statusing.
Lawyers.
Said, by the way, which university is graduating?
Lawyers were
Anyway,
graduating
it is very
yesterday.
interesting and it is very good that actually we are graduating students, meaning the education system is working. By the way, did you know that Uganda has
Lecturers.
one of the best education systems in East Africa? Even before we even put torch in it, let's first appreciate the little that the government has done. It has tried. But those 20,000 graduates, where are they? Do we keep track of these people? Do we have a system in Uganda that keeps track of its graduates? 2, where are they? What are they doing? Are you getting me?
Yeah.
2, how long does it take for someone to graduate? Is it worth? Is it worth someone to spend 5 years in a university? Are these courses we are teaching supposed to spend 3 years? Maybe they need the 4th. Is a diploma still supposed to be 2 years? Anyway, these are questions I ask myself as a person that I want to also ask. Are you getting me? So, the question is specialization. Do we have specialization in this country as education is concerned? Do we have specific institutions that are known for specific education orientations? Yes. Maybe I have heard that Chambogo is good for engineering and education. Maybe I have heard that if you want a good law degree, go to Makerere or to UCU. I have heard that if you want to be the best business person there is and business knowledge, go to Nakawa, which is MUBS. I have heard that. But yes, let us go back and realize, or we ask ourselves, are these students joining the university when they have made choices by themselves? This is the reality. Before we go to employment, job market, demand, no. Let us start from this 18-year-old, because students are studying when they're young. 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20 years. He or she is joining the university when he or she has not actually done research on the course they are going to do. Are you getting me? So, should we say we need career guidance in secondary schools before we go to the university? Because why am I bringing this? HR processes, human resource processes, recruitment processes, job descriptions and designs. You can look at a job, you can look at a recruitment paper and you'll be like, who will meet this? Who will meet this? 75% of the Ugandan population, Bavubuka. Youth. And you are saying, all the adverts I see, after the university you look for adverts, 3 years, 5 years experience. And you're just fresh from the university. And by the way, with the first class, with the second class upper, very brilliant.
So where do we get the experience?
But where do you get the experience from? How can we design that? How can we make graduates employable? It's a question. How can we design our students? I am a lecturer. Lecturers, National Council, Ministry of Education, the government as a whole, the university. How can we design a program, a policy that can make these students be out of the university and after 1 year, all month, they are set to do what
Good
they have
jobs,
been
yeah.
told? Because I want to tell you that actually we should not blame these people who are on the street walking. But even maybe the problem is the university, they are teaching them things that are irrelevant.
Most.
I'm going to give you an example. You study a course unit like business marketing.
It's actually a course.
Okay? Business marketing. That's a course unit. But do you know there is a course called
Marketing.
marketing? Did you know that there is BCom accounting, BCom marketing, BCom finance? Then there is BBA marketing, BBA accounting, BBA finance. What's the difference?
Just making
Have we looked through
very
into
many
that?
Bs.
What is the difference? Are these audit firms looking for BBA accounting or they're looking for BCom accounting? Oh, by the way, let me remind you, there is also a course called Science in Accounting. Oh, let me remind you, there are also diploma holders in accounting and finance. Oh, there's someone who's a CPA after senior 6. There's someone who's an SEC after senior 6. Where is the harmony? Where is the harmony in these qualifications? That should go to the HR as they are requesting for people to qualify for such a job. Have you looked through into the things? That's why we have people on the streets. They have the qualifications, but the system locks them out. I get it. So, specialization, HR policies, that's education, that's career guidance. Now, it goes to the students. Let me not sugarcoat things. Students outside there, you need to know that everyone can do any job as long as you're good on what you are doing. We have doctors who are on TV as journalists, and they are celebrated, but they have they are doctors, medical doctors. You know, Clinton is a procurement guru, but he is a presenter on a TV station. Meaning, if you look at the two types of skills, the hard skills and the soft skills, ask yourself as you're leaving the university, do you have both?
Skills.
Because the hard skill, I want to believe, is that technical understanding that you're a petroleum engineer. Yes, you're a petroleum engineer, and Hoima plant is there, and you know there's oil. There's oil, so you have a job. That's what you're told. But there is a job. But the question is, do you qualify for that job with a degree, first-class degree in petroleum engineering? You might have the hard skills, you might not be having the soft skills. I'm calling upon my fellow lecturers to teach both. Take 10 minutes to do career guidance in that classroom, in that lecture room, and you advise these students what they're supposed to do, because sometimes we are not employed, not because we don't have first class, but because maybe our behaviors are wanting. We are not employed, not because we don't have first class, but maybe because we can't work, we are lazy. Thank you so much. Somebody.
We talked about reality. Yes, me, I've been talking about reality, accreditation, AAAA. But even basically as an early man, the thing is solving issues. For example, Bronya, if we are friends and you're not solving my problems, I don't need you. As simple as that. So what I really wanted us to discuss today was the problems that the lack of equipping us with the skills to survive and grow a better world, because we're going to keep a developing country. Actually, this thing might look like it's chintu chitono, but it's a big thing. Some are going to keep earning, and I think when they're earning, like for example, owners of schools, especially secondary schools, especially private secondary schools, we pay 1.5 per term. You sit on that money, you earn a lot. But if your kids who you're taking to expensive schools, maybe outside the country, come back, and still the people they have to help become better are studying expired courses, so we are all going to be in this katogo. You get? I want to digest basically what happens when these courses are expired. You come out of school. Remember, your working docket is 20 to 40 years.
Invalid.
Okay, invalid and expired. Invalid. I stand corrected. You're working, all your productivity to the country is 20 to 40 years. You come out and you're so basically you're going to spend your first 5 or 10 years trying to adapt to what is needed of you. Coming with mistakes, that means that business owners are going to be making lots of losses. You get that point? And that's when you're going to be underpaid. When you're underpaid, you can't give the best to your kids. You get that point? Starting with education, that means they'll still also come out raw like you, and that is now a generational problem. Also, investors can't come because your business, the business owner will have a substandard business for about 10 years. The government is not getting enough taxes. That means they cannot give us the good resources or the good services we need. And on top of that, they also be corrupt and still on the money, that little money we are giving them. You get the point? So this thing is not a tiny thing. That's why I was actually emphasizing on the problems that are coming with people coming out through. I left Form 6, I did BCMIT. And in VAC, I look and I'm like, okay, I'm a senior 6 But what can I do to that? What do I have? Because I wasn't into sports, I was also eating books like he was doing. Maybe I could sing, but the environment I was in couldn't support that. The dancing couldn't be supported. And I felt useless for some point.
We're going to give the platform to Luke to actually give us a few, just summarize for us a few points that we have, mentioned according to the topic, and then maybe our viewers can have a good synopsis of what we discussed today.
Yes. Before I get on to the concluding remarks and summarizing this whole concept we've been discussing today, I want to call upon every stakeholder, right from policy makers up to policy implementers, okay? The parents, the students, the agents, government agencies that have been put in place to ensure that our curriculum and education system is up to date. The universities who impart knowledge to the students, the employment world, we need to get intentional, okay? If we are to move from these problems we are facing today, the problems of lack of employment, the population growing at a higher rate than job creation, we need to get intentional on what we as a country need, right from the laws we make. The laws are there. The implementing agencies have been put in place, but are they being intentional on what we desire? You as a student, when you go to university, when you complete senior 6, I'm happy that they have implemented a new curriculum in lower institutions of learning, and it shall now help Samari Nabagala to do BCom as well as singing. I personally, when I was doing my senior 6, I was so passionate about football, and I had to undertake a certificate in football coaching and dancing. Okay? And I did that. And I was one of the best coaches. But when I got into university, the system now made me busy. To the extent that I even ignore the soft skills we talked about. Okay? Now, we need to get intentional. Whereas we train these ones in the lower institutions, when they come to university, we need to make sure that we consolidate their abilities and skills and then prepare them for the employment world. Okay? Industrial training is part and parcel of our education system. We shouldn't just impart theoretical things into students and then send them to the law firms, to the telecommunication companies, hotels, and whatever, when they are just knowing that the principle in Kalira and Kabolic Smoke Ball Company is this and this. The principle of agents and this is this. But do they know what is actually happening on ground? Okay?
No, they are eating our money.
Now, for you to talk about, we don't have money, to apply for these assessments, to grant benchmark, or invite our professors from wherever. When students are entering the university, they are subjected to a fee that is directly going to the National Council for Education. When you don't pay that at the end of your graduation period, you're required to present a full receipt. If you're doing 4 years, you're supposed to present a receipt of 80,000 Uganda shillings. Okay? When you're doing 3 years, 60,000 Uganda shillings completed. And this money, what is the essence of this money? Is to make sure that the responsible department, which is National Council for Education, is fully facilitated to carry out its mandate and make sure that the students are given knowledge, the sharp skills that are actually relevant to the job market. And you're paying for that. So don't you say that we are not getting funding. The institution is not getting funding, okay? No, that's out of the conversation.
At some point,
okay?
Like, maybe they are not being paid.
No. That is a money paid separately. And I think everyone who has gone to university has paid that, okay? So we shouldn't talk about that. So in my concluding remarks, I want to applaud you all. This was wonderful, but it's a very big discussion. And you have seen a lot of stakeholders haven't come out with a clear voice. You had people who parents thought and students thought could come to their rescue, lamenting, singing songs of lament. That wouldn't have been expected of a national house, parliament, okay? Lamenting. I had a very interesting review of some doctors' research about how we could actually review the curriculum for higher institutions. And he made an analysis, but in the end, he came to an encumbrance in implementing whatever is being researched and bringing it to work. And in the end, he says that we actually don't know the reality about our education system. We as policymakers, policy implementers, and even those who are supposed to get the knowledge, we don't know the reality. And he says that to get to the reality of our education system, it shall be like the very famous and legendary conversation between Jesus and Pontius Pilate, where he tells him that, my Lord, you're saying you're the truth of this world. Where is the truth? The biblical theology has it that even Christ himself never answered the question of what is the truth. And for him, he was lamenting that who are we to find the truth? That shouldn't be the conversation. We have been empowered and we have the arms and we have the skill, the required equipment and everything to make this economy a better one, right from the grassroots, primary, secondary, and then at the university higher institutions, where we expect that whoever comes from there is actually fit. And at this moment in time, I want to say, I always find it a challenge that those who have been equipped well, you will find that their professional media and competence shall always precede them. Okay? And that's what we should be doing. You're seeing in Europe, in America, putting on a suit going to court is no longer matter. Okay? What is the substance that is coming out of your suit or what is coming out of your t-shirt? That is the issue. Okay? It's not about me putting on a tie and getting a fanciful car and then get to my clients. Not even an accountant putting on a suit entering an office. Okay? That shouldn't be the matter of contention. The matter of contention should be the substance that is going to be delivered in the development. And you've had agencies like the National Youth Council that is actually mandated to make sure that the youth, because the youth is a person between 18 and 30 years, okay, that those people are fit and competent in the cultural, economic, political, and education fields. Have we been helped? Or these people are actually getting funding for no good cause? So we should be intentional as a country, from the individuals to agencies. Thank you very much.
Cannot thank you enough, you two gentlemen, the lecturer, of course, Mr. Ebele Lambert, of course, who has given us deeper insights on the educational kind of platform. But I believe that this conversation has been very significant for our viewers. Thank you so much for being a part of the Youth Business Launch, and we are coming to an end. But before we do that, we like to remind you that we have been talking about how we can engage with the industry demands, of course, right away from the moment you join university, the moment you leave university, and now when you get into the working environment. There is quite a gap that we have been addressing, but we shall be now attacking the National Youth Council next, to listen to that voice that can actually support us as the youth. But at the same time, I remain Oyesije Clinton Liberty. Thank you for watching.
Well, for us to have maybe a better economy some years to come, I think the government should invest more in the coming workforce, which is the young people learning, right? So our youths out there deserve the skills, the knowledge to prepare them for the reality, the work and business world. Thank you for watching.
Well, the big question of unemployment remains unanswered. With our sad economy, we look at big things like going to school, and still when you come out of school, we don't get the jobs we think we're going to get. We've been on the Youth Business Launch. I'm Martha.
Hashtag YBL. As we are concluding, I think this is a really big issue, and I stand to say that, Mr. President, we are not yet to be a middle income status. The moment our brains cannot meet or cannot let us survive, you get that point. Very many people are hand to mouth, honestly. They can't even get a car asset. You get that point. Yeah. About chartered universities, I want to talk about that too, because there is Busoga University that has been closed for 6 years. But anyway, we are closing, and my name is Samali. It was so good to be here with you guys. It was so hot. So, and I feel we've closed, that it's still pending. See you next Saturday 10 a.m. Repeat is Sunday 10 a.m. Peace.
Thank you.